I took the elevator past my floor, heat on the 12th-story glass. I didn't take the elevator to go up. I took it to see how far I'd let things fall. The Calder Hotel has mirrors for morals. Everything reflects until it chooses not to. At 1:48 a.m., the lobby is a greenhouse for bad decisions. Palms that never shed, marble that never forgives, a piano that plays standards for no one in particular. I came because my phone lit with a message from my wife. Still with the team. Might crash on the office couch. Don't wait up. And because the last time I believed a sentence completely, I was 23 and imagined that faith was a sport you could win. My name is Leo. I draw road maps for a living, which is just a way of telling tomorrow what it owes me. For months, Ava and I have been excellent at our life. Two adults who can make a bed with hospital corners and put their hurt on the high shelf. The weather between us has been dignified and cumulative. You could live under it forever and never learn the shape of your own breath. I booked a room under an old name, Leonard, which my father used when he didn't want to be found by what he owed. I asked for the 12th floor because that's where Ava likes the view. The clerk gave me 1212 with a politeness he saves for men who have already lost the argument they came here to win. The bar was practicing tenderness on strangers. I ordered rye I didn't deserve and took a seat by the mirrored column, where the elevator doors glided open like a throat clearing. I told myself I was here to reassure myself. What I wanted, if we get technical, was to see who the night believed. He came out of the elevator wearing the tiredness Ava brings home after the events that make other people feel better about themselves. Dark hoodie, field coordinator stance, a coil of gaffer peeking out of his tote. His name is Micah. He can thread a tarp and a conversation without tearing either. In photos, he stands a respectful distance from everyone. In person, he makes the distance mean something. He saw me. I saw him. There are many ways men could behave at a moment like that. We chose the one with less theater. Leo, he said, small nod, nothing extra. Micah, I said, is she upstairs or asleep in a chair with her shoes on? Upstairs, he said. His mouth did the right thing and didn't add relief or regret. Asleep. Room 1208. I told her to text you at 6. I told her I'd go home. I didn't feel like lying to either of us. We stood there, two men at a bar pretending to be furniture. The mirror behind the bottles rearranged our faces until they looked like we belonged to someone else. The bartender set down the rye as if he doubted I deserved to pick it up. I'm not here to audit, I said. I'm here because my kitchen would start interviewing me. Micah looked at the elevator and then at me, as if calculating how gently this could be done. She fell asleep mid-sentence, he said. Shoes off, hair like a tangle of evidence. The banner from tonight tried to be a blanket and failed the exam. I came downstairs to give the room permission to stop caring. Do you want me to thank you, I asked, or to hit you? He smiled without showing his teeth. Neither, he said. I want you to decide whether you're getting in the elevator. I put the rye down. I looked at his hands because I trust hands more than I trust explanations at this hour. He has the kind of hands that can land on a shoulder and mean it. He didn't touch me. He stepped back until the air belonged to both of us. We're not enemies, he said. I don't know what we are, but the night keeps trying to hire me as one or the other, and I'm off the clock. In the glass, I saw the elevator doors open on my face and close on a version that didn't come here. I took the elevator because gravity gets suspicious when you ignore it. The carpet in the hall was quieter than my pulse. I walked past 1206, 1208, 1210, as if the numbers were learning not to take sides. At my door, I put the key in and took it out and stood like a witness who isn't sure what he's seen. The knock came the way rain starts in a sentence. 3 beats, the exact rhythm Ava uses when she doesn't want to wake the version of me that doesn't exist anymore. I opened. She was barefoot, hair not yet punished by the shower, sweatshirt borrowed from a past where we weren't good at anything except skin. "Why didn't you tell me?" I said. It didn't come out like a gavel. It came out like a man exhausted by his own inventory. "Because you would have told me to come home," she said, stepping inside like the room had been designed for her. And I needed the version of the truth that wouldn't care which chairs it slept on. She sat on the edge of the bed and looked at her feet like they might have chosen this hotel on their own. I poured a glass of water I pretended was medicine and handed it to her. She took it like something that knew how to dissolve. "I didn't kiss him," she said. "If that's the noun you're after." I laughed at something that wasn't funny because I was tired. I stood too close because the elevator was trying to hold us together. I fell asleep and he left the room because he is exactly the kind of person whose competence doesn't need an audience. And yeah, I like that about him. I like that about you, when you remember. The air between us burred with all the words we had filed instead of said. I sat and let the bed do what furniture does, witness without commentary. "There's a thing," I said, and touched the inside of her wrist with my fingertip because my vocabulary had agreed to meet me there. "Where you look at a man like he's the answer to a question you haven't asked. I remember when you did that to me." "I remember you answering," she said. I put both hands behind me on the mattress and leaned back like the ceiling had something to add. The room smelled like hotel soap and the ghost of last winter. Ava reached over and smoothed a crease in the duvet that didn't need advice. I watched her hand move and remembered every time a room had taught me how to breathe. "I went downstairs to hit him," I said, and heard myself for the first time. "Or thank him. I don't know which is worse." Ava's mouth found a smile it hadn't earned and wore it anyway. "He makes it easier to want to be good," she said. "That's a fact, not an alibi." "Do you want to be good?" I asked, "or to be mine?" She leaned in and put her forehead to mine like we were cheating at prayer. "I want to be interesting to you," she said. "That's the only fidelity I believe in at 2 in the morning." The kiss was the kind hotels pretend not to notice. Nothing cinematic, nothing designed to survive description. The kind you do because your mouth is tired of explaining your heart. Her fingers slid under the hem of my shirt and found the old road where we used to live. I took her sweatshirt off slowly because the night had already called the cops on both of us. Her skin was warm with fatigue and sincerity. I put my hand at the back of her neck and felt the day finally let go. There are ways of touching that are exams and ways that are answers. We chose the one that forgot to grade. The room narrowed to places we knew too well to name. If you're looking for confession, here it is. I've never loved her more than at the moment when honesty made my chest hurt and I chose to stay anyway. After, she lay on her side with her back against me, and I put my palm over the place where her ribs turned polite. The air conditioner practiced evenness. Somewhere down the hall, a drunk found the right door on his second try, and the carpet forgave him. I kissed the notch at the base of her neck because I have never learned a better hymn. "I need to tell you something uglier than the elevator," she said into the pillow. "Say it," I said. "I wanted you to be him," she said. "Tonight, for 10 minutes. The version of him that isn't afraid of how he stands near me when I'm interesting. And then I wanted him to be you. The version of you that doesn't make a spreadsheet out of the morning. Only men I actually love get that job, and I only love one." The truth lodged in me like a key I'd been grinding in secret. "He's good at competence," I said. I'm good at weather. I can be good at heat again." She rolled onto her back and looked at me with the kind of eyes you can't buy with loyalty points. "Now," she said. We didn't undress. We didn't have to. Sometimes erotics are what the world does to the part of you that remembers. I held the length of her thigh and felt our past read my hand. She pulled my lower lip with her teeth and laughed in the way a woman laughs when the room finally understands who it belongs to. I won't tell you how long it lasted. Long enough for the night to lose its case. At 6, a soft alarm decided to argue, and Ava shut it up with the authority that makes volunteers do what they didn't realize they wanted all along. We dressed in a silence that had earned the right to be called peace. She left with a look that put everything where it belonged, including us. I showered like the water had already forgiven yesterday. I tipped the pianist for a song he hadn't played because some kindnesses need to exist retroactively. At 8, the gym smelled like lemons and hope. Blue tape sulked in lines we could convince. Micah stood near the door and lifted a hand in the kind of greeting that has no agenda. I walked to him because hate would have been a wasted posture. "She send you?" he asked. "She invited me," I said. "Good," he said. "Help me make the floor want to be useful." We pulled tape and made the day a little truer. When a corner refused, he held it and I coaxed, and together we stole its reason for being stubborn. Ava crossed the gym with a clipboard and a grin she had stolen from an earlier version of herself. She touched my wrist in passing and said nothing. She didn't have to. I said nothing back because I have learned the sound of a promise when it doesn't feel the need to hire words. By noon, people were walking on the part of the floor we had convinced. A woman brought a pink box because civilization needed representation. We ate before anyone tried to win. I watched Micah carry a table as if the table and he had an old understanding. For a second, and only a second, my body remembered the elevator and the bar and the precise distance at which a man can stand near my wife and be dangerous. Then he looked at me and nodded with a small, exact respect, and the thought went where finished thoughts go. Later, at home, I taped the key envelope with the name Lenart to the side of our fridge, under the magnet shaped like a boat we bought a summer we didn't ruin. It is not a weapon. It is not a confession. It's a reminder that the door you think is open for someone else might be the one you need to walk through yourself. If you want scandal, I can dress up the bar and tell you the elevator betrayed a nation. The truth is smaller and more useful. A man went to a hotel to stop guessing. Another man chose not to be an enemy. A woman decided to invite what she wanted instead of staging trials in other people's kitchens. There was heat. It did not apologize. We ate before we tried to win. We slept when the clock grew mean. We touched in daylight like it mattered. And when the night asked for a closing argument, we let the room rest.